This isn't the California Penal League.
All right, I am back. Took a week off, but here we are, back with the recap vids. And I have to do 2 weeks because I fucked off and didn't do a video last week. Anyways, these were the standings entering week 16. All right, I'm at first, Eric second, Gabe third, Mikey fourth, Andy fifth, and Fred sixth. Make up the top six. And then you got the bottom half fighting to get in the playoffs. All right, so just a quick look at the rankings, or excuse me, the standings entering week 6. Let's take week 16. Let's take a look at the week 16 matchups and see what the fuck went down. All right, and here we have the week 16 matchups. This first matchup features Mike versus Dave. I picked Mike to win, and so whoop, 1 for 1. Here we go, taking a closer look to see if Dave could have flipped something. It was an awfully close matchup. Let's see if yep, extra base hits. He could have flipped, could have went ahead and saves. Okay, so Dave easily could have won this one, but lost a close matchup. Let's go to the next matchup. We have Andy versus Phil. I picked Andy to win this matchup, and I was way the fuck off.
Samsonite. I was way off.
Because Phil won 10-2. Not even close. But let's look a little deeper, see if it was closer. Home runs were tight. Quality starts, wins, saves, even holds. Okay, so a lot of the pitching categories were close right here. But even so, Phil won this rather convincingly. And now I'm 1 for 2 because I got that one fucking wrong. Next matchup. Paul versus Eric. Eric squeaked it out 7-6-1, and I picked Eric to win. So now I'm 2 out of 3 correct. Let's see, something could have been flipped. Yes, runs could have been flipped, stolen bases. Paul could have pulled ahead in. Over here in the pitching categories, saves, holds. So this really could have gone either way. So the 7-6-1 was an accurate indication just how close it was. Excuse me. And before I forget, the 7 stolen bases by Paul, Eric, and Andy led the league for week 16. So they all 3 took home the Willie Mays Hayes trophy. And I'm sure they're fucking ecstatic about that. Next matchup, we have Gabe versus Mikey. I picked Gabe to win. So now I'm what? 3 out of 4 correct? It was another close one, 7-6-1. That is the third 7-6-1 matchup in week 16. Let's see, something could have been flipped here. Nothing in the offense. Gabe pretty much dominated the offensive categories. Okay, W's could have been, and that's it. So Mikey could have flipped it if he got another win and maybe changed it. Other than that, Gabe pretty much wrote his hitting there. Let's move to the next matchup. We have Matt versus D-Buck. I believe I picked D-Buck to win, and he tied, so I was technically wrong. So now I'm 3 out of 5. Back to sucking dong. D-Buck led the league in home runs with his 15. Some categories of contention, as I like to call them: runs, extra base hits, quality starts, wins. This was literally a coin flip, and they wound up tying, so I guess the quarter landed on its side. I mean, what the fuck. Anyways, moving to the last matchup, which features myself versus Fred. I, not surprisingly, picked myself, and I tied, so wrong again. So 3 out of 6. I'm back to 50%. I suck ass at this predicting game. Fred led the league in strikeouts and wins, so he took home the Wild Thing Award and the Winning Award. Let's see, how close? Categories of contention. I mean, holds, yeah. ERA. And Jesus Christ, whip. Look at that. That is ridiculous.
What the hell is this?
I won whip by Jesus Christ. What, 1/1000th of a fucking point? That's ridiculous. All right, well, that wraps up the Week 16 matchups. Now let's go ahead and jump ahead to the matchups that just ended for Week 17. See how those went down. All right, and here we have the Week 17 matchups. I didn't make any predictions, so I'm not going to bore everybody with that. Yeah, excuse me. We have Matt versus Paul. Matt took it 8-5 to 1, and he pretty much dominated the hitting categories. Although, if you look a little closely, runs, home runs, extra base hits, even RBIs to a lesser extent, were all very close. So already you can see this matchup was closer than 8-5 to 1. And the pitching, let's see, any others Paul could have flipped. Oh, geez, that whip's ridiculously close too. Yeah, this actually could have gone either way with the power numbers and the hitting categories, but Matt Gabb pulled it out. Good job, Matt. Let's go to the next matchup. We have Andy versus Gabe. Gabe won this 8-5 to 1. His hitting was outstanding with the average and power. Anything Andy could have flipped. Quality starts could have pulled ahead. Wins maybe flipped. And that's about it. I think Gabe looks like he would have held on regardless. Okay, let's go to the next matchup. Oh, before I do, I want to forget, these 12 stolen bases led the league. A ridiculous 12. Oh, and sorry, Matt Gabb tied for the league lead in wins with 6. Moving up, we have Fred versus Dave. Fred absolutely dominated 13 to 1. He took all the hitting categories. It took all the pitching except for holds. There's probably not enough categories for Dave to even flip here. Looks like he just ran into a juggernaut, which is surprise, surprise. Dave losing to a buzzsaw. Yeah, it seems to happen with the other Dave too. Let's go to the next matchup. We have Mikey versus Phil. Mikey took it 8-4 to 2. Any categories of contention? Let's see. RBIs, stolen bases, quality starts, saves, holds. So this maybe could have gone the other way. But Mikey hangs on, so to speak. 8-4 to 2. Along here. We have Debug versus Eric. Good Lord, Eric. If you couldn't have guessed, these 21 home runs led the league. That's insane. And I think for a regular matchup, this is the most home runs hit during any week so far this season. Someone may have hit 21 during that long 10-day week. I can't remember if someone hit 20 or 21, but I'm pretty sure this is the high for a regular matchup, and it may be the high for the season period. I can't remember that 10-day matchup. Anyway, D-Buck won 7-6 to 1. Pulled it out. He needed that victory. He's just below Eric and some others, so big win there. And pretty much Eric took the majority of the hitting, and D-Buck took all the pitching categories except for holds. I mean, 8 quality starts to go with the quality ERA and whip. His pitching obviously carried him, and Eric's just the average and the power. Good God. Oh, damn. That was a ridiculous matchup. Let's see if Eric could have flipped anything. I'm sure he could have. Runs, stolen bases, Ks. So yeah, I mean, easily in a 7-6-1, not shocking. Could have gone the other way. Let's move to the final matchup, which pits myself versus Mike. And a tie. I tie for the second consecutive week. Whatever. My 77 Ks led the league. Oh, also I forgot. These were the D-Buck was tied for the league lead with Matt Gabb. I mentioned that earlier, that Matt Gabb was tied with somebody. Let's see who could have maybe pulled this out. Categories of contention. I mean, not really. Pretty much they are what they are. There's not a whole lot to flip here. W's, but that's 2. 8 saves is kind of ridiculous. Maybe I should have made it like a roll age relief fucking pitching award or some shit. All right, well, that concludes the matchups for week 16 and 17. Now let's take a look at where the standings sit today, beginning of week 18. All right, here we are. As the standings sit at the beginning of week 18, I remain in first. Eric and Gabe and Mikey stayed in their positions, 2, 3, or 4. Fred moved up 1 spot to 5th. Andy fell 1 spot to 6th. D-Buck moved up a spot to 7th, knocking on that playoff door. Dave fell a spot. Paul remained 9th. Mike moved up a spot, and Phil fell. Over in the ACR, Eric moved up 2 spots. His quality of play appears to be going up. He's all the way up to 3rd in the average category rank. Let's see here. Excuse me. Fred went up 1. Andy went down 2. Let's see. Dave went down 1. Paul went up 1, and the other movement is Phil went down 2. I like this, that there's a lot less reds, you know. And again, it's been a long time since I mentioned it. The reds is there's a difference of 3 between the standings. So most standings are either matched or pretty close. So there was a lot of reds not too long ago. There's 4 weeks remaining, so it's getting down to crunch time here. There's 21 matchups. We're on 18. So these people knocking on the playoff door, you know, stay on it, keep trying. The trade deadline is, I believe, next Monday, the 12th. So if you need to try and improve your team via trades, I mean, you better start throwing out offers now. And I mean, chances are they probably won't get accepted because hardly anyone likes to fucking trade ever. But just a heads up, I know it's on the league page. The ESPN actually, does something, mentions the trade deadline. So just be wary of that. Yeah, not a ton of movement compared to other weeks, but I mean, there's some moving and shaking around that playoff line. So we'll see how it goes. But for now, let's see how the predictions go for the Week 18 matchups. Everyone's favorite part, I'm sure. All right, and here we have the first matchup, which features myself versus Dave. I'm gonna deviate from the norm here. I'm gonna pick Dave. I'm gonna pick myself to lose. Yep, that's right. I think I'm gonna lose. Fuck it. Why not? Go with Dave in this matchup. Let's go to the next matchup. We have Eric versus Mikey. Eric's just lost, but he had been on a roll, winning 6 of the last 7. He's now up to 3 in the average category rank. So I'm starting to believe in his team a little more now. Got a little quality to go with the high standings. So I'll go with Eric here to take this matchup over Mikey. We got Phil versus Fred. Fred's been on a tear. He's been on a tear. I'm going to go with Fred to continue that tear. Take Fred with this matchup. Next matchup features Mike versus Gabe. Gabe is actually knocking on first place. He is just a game behind myself. So who knows? After this week, we could have someone different in the first place standings. So we'll see. I'm going to go with Gabe, but I'm going to hope that Mike wins. I'd like to hold on to that number 1 seed, but I'm going with Gabe here. Next matchup features Matt Gabb versus Andy. I'm going to go with tough. I'll go with Andy. Let's get back on track. Next matchup features Debug versus Paul. Debug got a much needed win. Now sitting 7th, just out of the playoffs. That's going to be a big swing week, possibly. I'm going to go with Debug to take it. Okay, that concludes my shitty-ass predictions. Till next time, I'll catch you guys on here next Monday. The season's winding down quickly. Can't believe there's just 4 matchups remaining. So, shit's getting real. All right, till next time. Suck it.